Tonight, the mother of one of the MSD victims was one of many honored in Davie. CBS 4's David Sutta takes us to the 88 Blessings Gala, which is put on by NFL star Alan Hearns.
God, you know what they stand in need of needing right now.
In Davie Saturday night, an NFL star and his mother gave back, honoring single mothers across the region.
So I feel like it relates to them more, to see there was someone that was once in their shoes and have a story where, like, I'm playing in the NFL, my mom's successful, she have her own organization, so it's just giving them light and hope that one day they can overcome it.
Alan Hearns, a former wide receiver for the Miami Hurricanes, now plays for the Dallas Cowboys. But his path to making millions wasn't easy. Growing up in South Florida with a single mom, they often went without.
She was always my motivation, but one thing I think that grounded me in today, I had a fear of letting her down.
And he said every time he touched that field, he'd do it for me.
When Alan made it to the biggest field of them all, the NFL, his mother, Erica Wilson, began a foundation to let single parents know you can overcome the challenges.
Single mom, a young single mom with 2 kids, struggling, rape victim, homeless, robbed at gunpoint. All those things had to happen to me to birth me for my purpose today. And that's why I'm standing here today giving back. Because once a person hears what you went through, they'll tell you what it is they went through. So it's just all about awareness and being strong through adversity.
After the shooting of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, Hearns changed his number from 88 to 17 to honor the 17 who died in Parkland that day. The group recognized Lori Al-Haidef and her foundation at the gala to make schools safer.
Alan has been incredible. He's been able to use his platform as a football player to help make our schools safe to a national level.
Hearns and his mother hopeful they can pay their blessings forward to make our community a better place. In Davie, David Sutta, CBS 4 News.
Tonight, the mother of one of the MSD victims was one of many honored in.
Good day, everyone. You are live here in Sawgrass Mills, Sunrise, Florida, with It Had to Happen with your girl, Erica Wilson. Today, we have here live, remotely, we have Joann White. She's going to be speaking on beating the odds of teen pregnancy. Hi, Joann. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
All right. How's everything going down there in Jacksonville?
It's hot and rainy.
Hot and rainy. We had that here too in Miami. But if you want to go ahead and just tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am 23. I have an 8-year-old son. I work at Wilson's Children's Hospital, and I'm currently enrolled at FSCJ, and I am also 8 months pregnant.
Oh, look at there, 8 and 8, 88. Look at there. Oh my goodness, what a joy, Joann, to have a bundle of joy inside you yet again. So we want to get a little bit of background about you. We want you to go into what was your journey like during your pregnancy. No, we want to go back a little bit. We want to go back to like your high school years. If you could just give us a little bit of background about yourself in your high school years before you got pregnant.
So actually, I got pregnant this summer before I entered 9th grade.
Okay.
So at the time, I was 14.
Okay. All right. And guys, audience, we want you to know not that we condone teen pregnancy, but we all know that it do happen. I was a teen mom myself. I actually had my son when I was 15. So it happens. And we just want you to encourage others that may be not really encourage, but kind of enlighten others to let them know that teen pregnancy, do not look down on us. Because most of the time we beat the odds. There's a stigma out there about people that teens that have kids at a young age. So we just want to kind of get a little bit about your journey and walk us through what was your pregnancy like.
So I was 14. Originally, when my mom found out I was pregnant, I wasn't going to have him at all. I was going to get an abortion. And, God works in mysterious ways because, the day before, I had the appointment scheduled was on Friday. And then that Thursday, because I used to be a water girl in high school. for a small amount of time. And so I got out of football practice, like, and I got in the car with my mom, and I could tell she had been crying. And I was just like, what's wrong? You know, whatever. And she was like, I can't do it. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, I can't take you to get an abortion tomorrow. And so, like, come to find out, my aunt who had contacted her, and my aunt is really strong in her faith, and she just contacted her, and she was like, something's wrong. And my mom was like, no, nothing's wrong, because at that time only me and my mom knew I was pregnant. Like, my brother was living in the house with us. He didn't know. Nobody knew but me and my mom. And so she was like, nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong. And then my mom was like, no, something's not right. I could feel it. And then she just like kind of broke down and was like, they all call me JoJo. So she was like, JoJo's pregnant, and I was going to take her to get an abortion tomorrow. And my aunt was just like, don't do it. So,
Wow.
so the, like, literally not even 12 hours before I was supposed to have the abortion, like, my mom was like, I can't do it. So of course I was just like, at that point, I was just like, I can't. I was like only in ninth grade. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna like have a baby and go through 4 years of high school. So my whole pregnancy, I had him in April. So by the time I had him, I had turned 15. But my whole ninth grade, from the start to basically the end, I was pregnant. And it was a lot of me. I think like judgment was the biggest thing for me to get over, was like people judging me and me constantly feeling like, okay, you got a baby, people just gonna always look at you this way, or people gonna feel like you're not gonna graduate, you're not gonna make it.
Yes.
One thing that really happened during my pregnancy, though, well, there were two things that really happened that made me want to be a better person. Like, I just knew I wanted to finish school, I wanted to be a great mom, and I wanted to do all these things that I had planned originally. And one of those was my dad was incarcerated at the time I was pregnant. So I wrote him a letter and told him I was pregnant. And then I went to see him that following Sunday, and it was just horrible. Like, I just cried the whole time. And so he ended up, like, that week, he sent me this newspaper article about teen pregnancy. And on the article, it was just saying, like, everything about statistics, about not graduating from high school, about, like, living in poverty, and, like, all these bad things that, like, these statistics that, you know, that's what America has seen me as. And that's what America, like, basically was like, okay, this is who you're going to be. You're going to live in poverty. You're never going to be more than what this paper says right here. And
Exactly.
so I hung that paper on my door. I glued it on my door, and I looked at it every day. And I was like, I don't care what I got to do or how I got to do it. It's going to get done, and I won't be anything that this paper says I am.
I know that's right. And that happens also often, not just with teen pregnancy. That's just, in life itself. We have so many people telling us what we're not going to be. We have so many people that's telling us what we can't be. Basically, there's so much judging in the world today. And that's why I like to tell people, don't judge a book by its cover, because you never know what a person is dealing with, what they've dealt with, or, whatever God has for them. We all know that our lives are definitely predestined, for number one. And God knows exactly what He's doing when He's doing it. So who are we to judge anyone? How dare we judge anyone just because someone had a child at a young age? Our sin may not be the same sin as yours, but sin is still sin. Okay. And that's number one. And I just want to congratulate you on being that great mom, because you was actually a part of our 88 Blessings Single Moms organization. And you actually started out as a member and became a junior ambassador, and actually led your other members and sisters that was in the organization. And I've always told you, Joann, you remind me so much of myself, the way that you are with DJ. And I just really took you guys in, but I don't want to take everybody. I don't want to walk everybody in. I want you to walk them in on how we met and how you got started with 88 Blessings.
Okay. So I I was in another organization when I was in high school, and so that organization introduced me to 88 Blessings. We went to the very first gala. I think it was in like 2016. I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think I was like 19 at the time, and so we went to the gala and it was really nice. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, this is like something I want to be a part of. So after that, I stayed in contact with Miss Erica. I stayed in contact with the group, and not only did I feel like it was beneficial to me as a mom, but also my child. Like, I feel like DJ, he just came in, he clicked, like,
Yeah.
and I feel like when it comes to kids, like, you can't be a bad person around kids. Like, kids just know, they just know. So it's like when he was so welcome and felt so comfortable around you guys, it made me want to, he would always be like, oh, well, are we going to do this with them? Or are we going to do that with them? Like, he didn't want to miss anything. So it kept me involved. And I just feel like the total mission of the group was amazing. Like, just to be able to bond with other moms, like even that are like twice my age, and just to feel like, okay, she got there, she did it, she overcame that, like, I could do it now.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. I really appreciate that. We were so excited to have you and DJ, because we all know DJ was the life of everything he showed up to. DJ really made it happen for so many others. He was just the life of the party always, every time he came round. And I could tell that he get that joy because he getting that love from the mother. It don't fall, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. But we did speak about 88 Blessings and how you and I met. But I want to take them back a little bit and walk them through your pregnancy. So you're in the ninth grade, you're 14 years old, and now you have this life inside of you. Like, what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts?
So originally, I was just so dramatized. Like, honestly, y'all, I just was drama, drama, drama. And you can't look at me wrong. Don't talk to me any kind of way. If I feel like you're looking at my stomach too long, I'm gonna tell you about yourself. So, I think I was about like 6 months pregnant, and I think it was in like January or something, and I had came to school, and when you're pregnant, your emotions, all hormones everywhere, everything
Oh,
terrible. So the smallest things just seem so big to you. So you
mm-hmm.
got me, like, I'm sitting in class with all these other kids like my age, but not really knowing what I'm going through. So me and this girl had gotten into it in class, and like we ended up like getting into an altercation or whatever. And so
While you was
afterwards,
pregnant?
yes. So afterwards, after the fact, I was like, I went home that night and I just cried because I was like, I don't want to be that girl. Like, I don't want to be her anymore. Like, I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of like feeling like the world is against me. And so, like, I really just had to get to a place where, like, I had to pray and ask God to heal my pain, because
Mm.
I wanted to be to a place where nothing no one else could do could bother me. Like, no matter what you said, how you looked at me, which way you made it seem, or even if you were trying to be offensive, like, it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to like basically just get to a point where I was just like, my goal is my child and my goal is finishing high school. And at the time, like, I've always been like an AP honor student, so I've always taken advanced classes. So I'm
Wow.
want to put my energy into something positive and stop letting so much negativity take my life over. So I feel like by the time I had him, I felt like I was to a point where it was more so of me just making sure that I was being what he needed. So I knew that
Right.
he needed a mom who didn't just go out there and get in fights just because somebody looked at her. Like, that's not the type of mom I wanted him to look at and be like, oh, that's my mama, or like, oh yeah, my mama full of drama. Like, my mom, like, I wanted him to be
Right.
the person I was. I wanted him to be look at me and like see no wrong in me, like just like I was the world to him. And so
Exactly.
I got to that point, and then from there, I feel like it was just like once you can control your emotions, like nothing else can stop you.
That's it right there. That's key. That is key. You said a mouthful right there. But I want to ask you, do you think it was always the other person that kind of like, was saying these things? Or did you have this a mind as an overthinker, like maybe they're saying this about me because the way that they're looking at me, or maybe it wasn't even what you probably even thought most of the times. Can
Yeah.
you say that looking back now?
Oh, definitely. I would say now, looking back at, even now as an adult, looking back at situations like, okay, yeah, I jumped the gun, or like I may have thought that you meant it this way, but you really didn't. I think that's just a
Right.
part of growing as a human, and that's something that we constantly are going to deal with as humans. And growing,
Yes.
like, okay, just because you said it like that don't really mean that you meant it that way. So I'm gonna just go ahead and let it go. Like,
Exactly. And you know, it happened to the best of us. You know, sometimes when you're an overthinker, let me tell you, girl, I'm telling you, it messes up so much. You know, because like I say, I like to tell a lot of people that I'm counseling or mentoring or whatever, I like to tell them if you're having problems with someone, make sure you sit the person down, talk to them. Don't do anything over text, first of all. Talk to them because 9 times out of 10, it may not even be what you're thinking, especially if you're in this state of defense. Like, you already know that you have this baby growing inside of you. You know that you're in the ninth grade, 14 years old. So you have like this, well, I already know they're going to look down on me already. So let me just go ahead and attack them before they attack me. And you remember my saying when I used to say, people bleed on, like a lot of times people bleed on who didn't even cut them. And sometimes that's what we do as people. It's not right, but we need to always give the other person a chance to see, maybe it's not what you're thinking. So I can say I can see that you have grown so much, because like I told you, I'm always watching you, and I'm always sometimes hard on you. And you have never once, everything I've told you, you received in love. And that's one of the things that I adore about you, because you never took what I said to you to heart. You knew that it was coming from a place of love. So can you tell us a little bit about, well, have you ever felt any type of way when I kind of like was a little hard on you?
No, I think I've always been like, since a very young age, like constructive criticism, like no matter where
Mhm.
I, like in work, in school, anywhere, like I always tell people, like if I'm wrong, or I'm always the first person to apologize, because if I'm wrong and I feel like I'm wrong, or if you're telling me something and like you're correcting me in a way that's going to help me grow, then
Yes.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with saying, okay, yeah, you're right. I was wrong in this situation. Let me go ahead and apologize. Like, I've always been that type of person. I don't hold grudges, and I've never felt like you said anything to me that would, I didn't feel victimized. I didn't feel like, oh, she's picking on me, or oh, she's trying to make it seem like I'm just this. Like, no, anything you've told me, I've taken it, I've analyzed it, and I've used it to help me grow.
Oh, praise God. I love to hear that. And that's what I told you. You are one of the ones that I watched, because again, I cannot say it enough. I see so much of myself in you, especially the way that you parent your child. I mean, the love that you have for DJ. DJ lacks for nothing. And you always making sure that he have before you have. And that was one of the things I did as a young single mother, you know. And again, we cannot let we wanted to be known that please stop judging a book by its cover, because you're looking at not one but two people that beat the odds of teen pregnancy. Not that it was easy. We're not saying that. That is not what we're saying. We're saying that we persevered, we pushed and we pushed and we prayed and we pushed, and God made seem fit for us to be the people who we are today, to be that good Christian mother for our children. Even though the trials and the tribulations that we had back then, we had them. We're not saying that you're not going to go through anything. That's not what we're saying. But we're saying that we overcame. And that's why we're here on this show today, or if it had to happen, to sit and talk about beating the odds of teen pregnancy. Now, I want you to walk us. We heard a little bit about your journey. Now, we all know that during our journey, there's trials, there are tribulations, and there's some pain. And there's some nights you're going to just drown your pillows. If you can kind of tell our audience a little bit about your pain and what it was that you experienced and what did you get from it.
So, being a mom through high school, especially like I would say my whole entire high school experience, I was a mom. Like I was pregnant in ninth grade, had him at the end of ninth grade, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, I was a mom. So I feel like I was like kind of angry at myself for a little while. Like I was like, I can't be a regular student. I can't do what everybody else does. Like I can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm staying at the school today. Like, no, I gotta go home. I gotta get my baby off the daycare van. Like I gotta do all these other things. And then especially like my senior year, I worked 2 jobs. So I would get out of school, I would go work at the daycare, and then after that I would go to KFC and work. Which so I sometimes I wouldn't get home like 12 o'clock at night, and
Wow.
so like I just constantly like I feel like one of the hardest things for me to overcome was like self shame more so than people like putting shame on me or like because I did get to a point where I was like I don't care, I have a baby, like everybody knows I have a baby, like you know what I mean.
Yes.
Then I got to a point where I was like I'm ashamed of myself, like this is like I can't do what everybody else do, I can't be how everybody else is. But you know that's when I had to learn, you know, God created me to be unique and special in my own way.
That's
And
right.
so I kind of like through high school, I always tell people this one story of like I was in 10th grade and he had cried all night. And then like I guess
Wow.
he had an upset stomach. And so he like exploded, like had a whole blowout in my bed at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I like
Oh,
put in the tub. I was so mad because the next morning I had a chemistry test and I had been studying for it because I was like, I'm gonna fail this test. Like this test is just like because I took honors chemistry and I was like, this is just too hard. Oh my goodness. And so I was like, by the time I finished like cleaning him up and getting him back to sleep, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and we already had to get up at 5:30. So I was like, either I'm gonna
wow.
test and fail it, or I'm gonna just stay up until school starts. Stay up, don't go back to sleep. So I stayed up until it was time to get him up. He went to daycare. I went to school. I got a B on that test. Like that was the one test I will never forget because I was like, what to do? Like I was like, I don't know what to do if I don't go to school tomorrow. I'm gonna fail the test. Like, and
Wow.
it was just like it was a lot of pain, like you know, even with myself I had to deal with from even when I got pregnant, like um I always tell parents like you want to introduce sex to your kids, like that's something that
Mm.
you want to be the one to explain to them and talk to them about, because I feel like a lot of the reason why I did end up even having sex was a lot of my self-esteem issues and a lot of things that
Wow.
you know I had to grow on. As I got older I seen it, but when I was young I was just thinking, oh, this boy like me, like you know. And me and my mom, we're really really close now, but even now I tell her like, you know, I wish you would have been the one to tell me like this is what boys want, and this is why you need to value yourself more than like just don't have sex. Like teach me how to value myself.
Okay, so you're saying that you wish parents would kind of like introduce and have that talk with their kids about sex?
Yes, I feel like as a parent, you should be the one to introduce that to your child. Not don't let the world introduce it. Don't let society, social media introduce it, and especially not their friends. Because as a
Okay,
parent, tell your child what they need to know and how to protect themselves and how to, you know, you have their best interest at heart. So when their
so it
friends.
basically starts from home.
Yes, and when my like in my situation, like I didn't know anything about sex when I got pregnant, like at all. And I feel like one of my
Wow.
friends at school kind of introduced it to me, and she was like talking about it all the time and just making it seem like something it wasn't. And I just always
Mm.
know with like my sons and like my kids that that's the conversation I'm going to introduce to them.
Okay, and also too, not just I think what needs to happen from home, everything starts from home. It's just to talk with your kids. A lot of times I know what parents do, they talk at their kids. They do not talk with their kids. They don't see, basically sit down and ask their kids what could, how was your day? Basically, when you come home from school, how was your day? Is there anything that we could have done different or could have happened different, or maybe even you have done something different? It's just to have the talk in general about life, well, about teenage, welcoming to you in your teenage years, because we all know that's when a lot of peer pressure comes along, and you're not the cool person if you're not doing what everybody else is doing. But how many of us know that person that have their own mind, that's that leader is the one who you should be following? Well, you should be a leader mainly, but the thing is we fall sometimes into that peer pressure, and we're listening to everything that's going on around us. Or what about that parent that did sit their child down, right, and had those type of conversations with them, but yet still decide that they want to let the peer pressure get to them? See, you saying you didn't have that, right? But what about that kid or that other mom that actually had that with their parent, or parents, or maybe even an aunt or so, had that conversation and still fell into the category of being not a single mom, but a teen mom. So it's a lot of talks that we need to have with our kids in general, as parents. We need to listen, and I'm kind of twisting it a little bit because a lot of times too, let me show you something, Joann. Here it is. When you go and you start talking at your kid, guess what? You're kind of like, especially if you're fussing, right? You're chastising them. And say, for instance, your kid did something bad, right? We like to say, and we beat them. We say, you better not cry. You better shut up. That's what we as parents do. We're instilling fear in them already. Okay. So once we instill that fear in them, and then when things happen, they're kind of skeptical about telling us because we're already done instilled that type of fear in them. Number one. Number two, we have to also know that our children, we like to label them as bad. Sometimes they're crying out for attention. Are we missing the signs? Are we missing what our kids are trying to tell us? Do we just want to say, oh, our kid is just being bad, our kid is just acting out? It's something that they're trying to get us to understand. Is that, can you relate to any of that? Did you do that with your mother?
So I feel like before I had DJ with me and my mom, I was just kind of like, I still was like kind of in an angry state. So like I didn't really talk to her about like stuff like that because I was afraid I would get in trouble. So, but I also never felt comfortable to talk to her about stuff like that because like she would always be like, well, if you have sex, you're gonna get pregnant, and that's it. Like that was it. Like there was no like it was STDs, like nothing, like it was just you gonna get pregnant. And so
basically instilling fear.
Yeah, like you said, but I know with DJ now, like we talk about a lot of stuff, and some of the stuff he tried to talk to me about, I do not want to talk to him about. But if he sees something or he hears something, like he runs back and tell me, and even if it's a conversation I don't feel like I'm ready to have with him, I'm going to make it important enough, like his voice is important enough to where we are going to have that conversation.
Absolutely.
Like, and that's the thing that like I'm trying to get at is like with parents, especially when you have teenagers, like even though sometimes like I know as a teenager it was certain stuff like I didn't want to tell my mom, but I just pray that when DJ gets to that age, like we've developed such a connection that even if he doesn't want to tell me, he's going to tell me. Like he's just going to feel the need for me to know.
Exactly. And you know what? I hear a lot of times that people say you can't be friends to your kids. I mean, whatever works for anybody else, that's what works for them. Me and my kids, we are the best of friends. You know that. You witnessed it. I had those talks with my kids. My kids actually came to me and they didn't tell me. I actually found something to find out that yes, they were sexually active. But once I sat down and I talked to them, they did not deny it. Most kids do. My kids did not deny it. And I couldn't show how angry I was with them because if I showed that, they would have never came back and talked to me about anything else again. Not that, again, guys, I'm not condoning any teenager to perform any type of sexual acts. That's not what I'm here for. I'm just telling you that the relationship you and your kid have is very, very important on any type of level, whether they're dealing with something, bullying at school, whether they're dealing with whatever life throws at them. They should be comfortable enough to come home and talk to their parent about it. Their parent should lead them first because guess what? They're spending most of their time at school. If you don't teach your child at home, society will. And that's not something that I wanted for my children. Even though that I was still trying to find myself, I didn't get those talks either, as a child. I don't even know how to begin if I had girls to even have that type of talk. And I thank God no, and that's why he blessed me with my two young men that I have. Boys are so much easier, girls go through so much more. But I just want to commend you, Joann, for even graduating high school. Um, Taking that step and push, knowing that you want to be the best that you can be for your child and blocking out the noise. Yes, sometimes the noise seems to seep in and we let it get to us sometimes. Even now in my adulthood, I do. I have to admit it. But sometimes you have to just block it out and know that who you are and who do you belong to. Don't let anybody else tell you different. You keep on walking the walk and talking the talk and helping your sisters that's coming up, being a beacon of light for them, to show them how to be that young teen single mom if they ever were to fall in that category and that was to happen to them. So now that we heard your journey, we heard your pain. Now, before I get into your purpose, I did hear you say at the beginning of the show that you are now 8 months pregnant.
Yes.
Yes. So if you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about that, I don't know how much in detail you would like to give the audience. Of course, I know because I'm Ma. But whatever you want to give the audience, please do share with them on your now.
I think mine now is a reflection of just God letting me know that I cannot be in control of my life. So I just got into a relationship. I got comfortable, like things happened, and then I got pregnant. And I feel like that had I been doing things a little differently, like the way I know God intended for me to do them, like between me and him, the situation would be different. But on top of that, I do know that life is a blessing. So if you have a teenage daughter who's pregnant, a 30-year-old daughter who's pregnant, like anybody, only God can give life. I heard Bishop William Murphy say that in it's a song. I call it "I Know Why I'm Here," and he actually talks about how his parents were actually teen parents, and he was just saying, I'm a product of a teen mom. My mom was 15 and my dad was 17, and people don't look at people like that and like, oh, he's a bishop. Like you don't look at things like that. And so when he was speaking, he said, that the devil can't give life. So even if you feel like, oh, my life is just falling apart, like, I just lost control, like there's nothing like life living inside of you is one of the biggest blessings. I feel like being pregnant, able to get pregnant is one of the biggest blessings on, like God is basically letting you carry life, and so I feel like my situation now, honestly, just like with DJ motivated me to be better and do better. And this baby also has, like, I finally got back in school, started doing things like the way I was supposed to, trying to finish getting my nursing degree. And I just know that both of them
wait, hold on, trying
finishing getting my nursing degree.
Okay.
And I just know that the both of them are going to be my why. They are my why. They are my why. Like, I can't fail because of them.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. I mean, that's a little powerful there, girl. I like that. Yes, we know that God do give us life. A child is definitely a blessing. Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. But what I want to ask you, and I'm going to get a little hard on you, do you think God, I'm not going to put God, do you think this happened to you to kind of slow you down and stop you from some of the things that you were doing before pregnancy to kind of like say, okay, Joann, like some of the things, okay, would you be doing the same things that you were doing before had not if you was pregnant now? Would you continue that path? I'm going to put it like that.
Probably. I think before I got pregnant, like, I was doing a lot of things that I probably should have not been doing. And so
we all do it.
Me being pregnant has like let me sit down and reevaluate and get myself back together and get back to the me that I know I am. So basically getting back to the person who had this fire of like, okay, this is what I'm gonna get done. This is what I need to do. Like, just staying on top of myself. Like, so basically, like, during this pregnancy, I feel like I've grown a lot because like a lot of things I could do before I can't do now. So it's just my focus and to put my energy into more positive things.
Right. And you know what I noticed too? I noticed that you said that you were back in school.
Yes, so I've always like taken a couple of classes, but like at FSCJ, and
Yes.
but last fall I kind of like I failed the class, and I just was trying to like I was trying to be in school, to be a mom, and then be a party girl basically, and it just wasn't working.
Mm.
So I took the summer off, but I'm actually scheduled. I'm supposed to have my baby by September 17th. That's his due date, and then my first
17. What do you think about that 17?
and my first class starts on September the 21st. So
Wow. What? Wait, hold on. You said,
it's online. It's an online class.
oh, I was going to say, how are you going to do that? So, baby is due September 17th.
Hmm.
And then your first class is September 21st?
Yes. Well, I think before
Wow.
September 21st.
Oh my goodness, Joann.
But
Wow.
I just have a new motivation to get it done, so I know I'm going to get it done.
Absolutely. And if you have me behind you, I'm definitely going to push you to get it done. You already know that. But also, too, you said that, I mean, I know that you're working too at Wolfson
Yeah.
Children's Hospital.
Yes.
What is that experience like? Which floor are you on?
I work in the ER, in the emergency.
You in the ER?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So how is that, being though, we have COVID now, how are you,
I'm sure
like,
how people are like on like different sides, but I know for me in the children's part, it's not bad. We just
mm,
take our precautions, do everything the way that everybody expects us to, and we just get things done. Like honestly, it hasn't been a bad experience for me.
oh, good. And we just want to commend you too for standing on the front line for taking care of these people that come in, sickly ill, because we know that the COVID is actually running rampant. And we just want to pray your safety and God's hedge of protection all around you, while you're there, even wherever you go. Just pray His protection around you, because you're actually carrying a life inside of you, and we definitely do not want you to suffer any of that's going on now. So just for you to have that drive to be able to go to work, knowing that you're carrying this life inside of you and knowing what's going on. Um, we thank you for being on the front line. We really, truly do. Thank you for being on the front line. But now we're going to jump into your purpose. Do you know what your purpose is?
I feel like my purpose, right, like in life overall, is to just be the woman God created me to be. I feel
Mm,
that I'm not sure what He has for me in the future, or like where I'll end up. I don't know, but I do know that I just want to live the life that He created me to live. Like I want to be where He wants me to be and do what He wants me to do, the way that He intended on me doing it.
mm-hmm. Because I must say, when you were a part of 88 Blessings, and as a member or in leadership, you made sure you showed up and you showed out. And I thank you. You was very faithful to the organization. You actually brought people in because you started working for you as well. Um, what's next? What's next? What do you see yourself at in five? I would say 5 years. Let's do five. I don't want to do 10. What do you see yourself at in 5 years?
In 5 years, I will have nursing school,
Mm,
and hopefully, well, I will be a homeowner, and by then, I just want to basically put my energy into. Well, I'll be finished with nursing school for like one of my degrees, but I'll probably be getting a degree by then, and
mm,
just basically making sure that my sons have everything that they need and have the resources so that they can be successful in whatever they want to do in life.
amen. And I also want to see growth in your ministry, because you definitely have a ministry inside of you. Um, God is going to birth something, not just your unborn child. God is going to birth something in you so great that everybody's going to know that it was only Him that did it, first of all. And I know this because I sat down with you on several occasions, and I heard the word that was in you. I see what God is wanting to do with you, but how, sometimes, I don't want to put it on the enemy, but the enemy attacks. And anytime that he attacks, we like to think that the attack is on us. No, it's on the anointing that's on our lives. And I know that God has something so great for you. And that's why all the times when I did reach out, when I did actually not chastising you, but basically being a little hard, I know what God want to do with you. I mean, I don't know exactly what he want to do, but I know he has a plan for you. And I know the word that was inside of you, that you was just letting it lay dormant. And I knew the love that you had for Christ. And of course, at a young age, we kind of bounce backwards and forth. But I want to tell you, at the age of 19, well, how old are you, Joann?
23.
Or at the age of 23, I didn't have a relationship with God. I knew who God was. I knew he exists, but I didn't have a relationship. I found God later on in my late 20s, going into my 30s. So I knew from conversations that we had before, you were on fire, girl. I mean, you were really on fire for God. And then look, distractions come and they try to get us off course, but praise be unto God. You are back. You are strong in your word. You are pushing it on not only to you, but onto your child as well. And again, I just want you to keep on keeping on. And audience, if you guys would like to book or to purchase my book, you can go to my website at www.ericawilsonih2h.com. And again, we have here Joann White. She's a former member of 88 Blessings, not just a former member, but a former junior ambassador as well. Joann is a young single mother of not just DJ, but what is the new baby name that's coming?
Dakota.
Dakota. All right. And of soon to be Dakota, I pray that you have a great and safe delivery. I know that I have my two young men and I don't want any more, but whatever God has in your future, to God be the glory. But I just want you to keep on keeping on, daughter. Is there anything that you want to leave with the audience on today?
Um, I don't think so. Just if I could just give any advice to a young mom out there, it would just be to keep pushing. I know it's hard. I know sometimes like you wake up, you're like, I just can't do it, but you can and you will and you'll get through it. Just keep pushing. Don't give up. Don't ever give up, no matter the circumstance, no matter what it's looking like around you. Just keep on pushing. I'm telling you, it's gonna be so worth it in the end.
Wow. Again, guys, we are here taping live here in Sunrise, Florida at the Hilton Doubletree. They were so honored for me to to shoot here at their facility. I just want to thank them live so very much for allowing me to use their space. I mean, when God is in it, how many of us know that everything will be a smooth sailing? I was here serving in Miami today with our nonprofit, Joann, 88 Blessings Soar Movement. We actually had a event at the stadium today where Feed the Children actually partner with us, and we bless many today with toiletries. They had the food inside the boxes, and then also 88 Blessings gave them a little care package just to show our token of love, because you got a chance to walk across the stage. These kids was robbed of that because due to the pandemic that we're dealing with here today. So I was a little like nervous about where I was going to shoot because I knew what I had going on at the stadium, and I'm like running around. And guys, I know that you're pregnant, but I want to share a little bit of good news with everyone. I am a soon to be grandma. In late October, we're having a baby boy. Alan will be having his first child the ending of October. So here it is. I have one glam baby coming September. What date was that, Joann?
17.
17th, and then I have another glam baby that's coming in October. Won't he do it? Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited. And right before I came here to shoot, I actually went to see, Joann, you ever heard of a 3D sonogram?
Yes, I did it. I got.
I never heard of that. We didn't have that back in our days. We we did not have that. And I'm telling you, it was the most beautifulest thing to see the baby. When he heard our voice, he opened up his eyes, but he had his hand like this on his head. It was just so beautiful. I mean, just life itself is beautiful. But I just wanted to share that with the audience that I am going to be a new grandma, and I'm very, very excited. So, again, Joann, if you have that young single mom, teen single mom that's out there, and I know that you want to start your blog, but I'm going to go back to that. If you have that young single mom that's tuned in now, no, I don't want to do that. I want to take it here. I want you to tell the audience how bad one made you feel, how bad it is to actually judge a book by its cover. Please do let the audience know, because sometimes people do it without even knowing that is what they're doing. So can you share with the audience how bad you will feel when you see that person looking at you or hearing the things that they were saying?
I think I would just feel ashamed. Like it would just be a different type of shame, because it's like, I have a baby inside of me. I should, at some point I should get over the shame and be like happy that, I'm about to have a new life here. But in the same sense, it was like it, for instance, even now, because I'm not married. So I feel like sometimes when I get around, other women who are like married and they have kids and they did everything the right way. They went to college, they got married, then they had kids, and then they see me and it's like, oh, you just a young girl, and you having a baby. Like, it kind of steals your joy in the process. And I think it's important for people to just always look at someone and be like, I don't know their situation. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they're going through. And you have to be mindful of that, because everybody goes through something. So my shame might not be the same as your shame, but there's something you are ashamed of.
There you go. That's it right there. And that's why you have to be so careful about judging folks. Because, I remember thinking back on the gala that we had one young lady that was there that actually, she was pregnant, but it wasn't something that, not that we planned it, but it was out of her control. It was due to something that happened to her that she ended up being pregnant. And she didn't see fit for her to abort the pregnancy. So that's why we have to be also careful of sitting around judging others, because we don't know what that person is going through. What happens if you was at your very end, right? And somebody treated you that way? It could have just pushed you over. You and your baby life could have been lost, you know, if you wasn't rooted and grounded in Jesus and knew who he was. But what happens to that young single teen mom that's not rooted and grounded in Jesus and don't know God, and already feeling horrible about, one, being pregnant, two, probably letting down her parents, three, maybe have to end up raising this child by herself, you know. It's just so hard. And if you have this teen that's there, not even a teen, anybody, but most of the teens gets it. But you have this child that's already there having all of these thoughts and going on inside of their heads, and seeing how society is treating them and what is society saying about them. But here it is, we stand and overcame our toughest times, our challenges that we had faced at that time. We had a great support system. I know I did. I'm sure that you did, because I know the relationship with you and your mom did. Is it safe to say that?
My family, I don't know what I would do without them. Like, that's all I can say is my brothers, my mom, my grandma, everybody, like in my immediate family, even now, like they make ways out of no ways. I always tell my mama, especially when I had DJ, because going through it. I see my mom make $1 out of 15 cents 1,000 times.
Ask Alan and Nikki. But Alan sends his he says congratulations on everything. And you guys again will be, delivering you guys babies a month apart. Wow. Again, guys, I thank you so very much for tuning in with us here at It Had to Happen with Erica Wilson. Please do, please, sir, please, ma'am, go to my website and book or purchase my book. Also, follow me on all of my social media platforms. Also, YouTube. Don't only like it, but do subscribe, please. That's all of that I ask. Go to our YouTube page at It Had to Happen with Erica Wilson on YouTube. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and you're more than welcome to leave a comment. Let us know how we did on today's show. As we go on, things get better and better. Joann, thank you so very much for tuning in with us here today remotely due to the COVID. I would have loved to sit in studio with you side by side to kind of love on you a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a virtual hug and send my love. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, please do follow me on all my social media platforms. Go to YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. It Had to Happen with Erica Wilson. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Everyone have a blessed day.